All right, everybody, welcome in. The ending of that song timed nicely with our stream start. Yeah, hope everyone's doing well. We're about to get started with our Score Attack Community Showcase. Do some friendly 1v1 matches, possibly mess with the custom settings. If you're new to the game, feel free to drop any questions in chat, or provide some hints for others in the chat. And yeah, I'm Austin from Enhance, and let's get started. Welcome in Twiz, Grasspelt, Tivo, Garbaggy. Yeah, looking forward to tonight. I'm going to get a room code set up and sent in our matchmaking thread on the Discord. If you are looking to participate, head to discord.gg/enhance if you're not there already. Select that community event role, and you can see we should have an event live now for the Score Attack Showcase, which should have a link to that matchmaking thread. Happy T-Spin Factory Day, absolutely. Unless we have some classic bag settings, etc. I think some players did want to mess with that. And that is a reminder to players playing tonight, if you do want to do any custom settings, you can request so from your opponents. But yeah, let's do this. I think out of the gate, we are going to have Jabberbox and Tivo up first. If that is either of you, I'll be pinging you here in just a moment. Oh, no worries, Shock. This is a good excuse for me to hang out with the community as well. Yeah, I love doing these Friday night showcases. Pretty chill, good vibes going into the weekend. A good way to round off my week, personally. Yeah, I hope everyone here enjoys it. I guess we have been doing this pretty much every Friday since TECWC last year, right? So we're rolling with it. I think it's been a lot of fun. But all right, let me get this lobby set up. All right, there we go. Lobby has been created. Get in here, Tivo and Jabberbox. Oh, you're gonna bench yourself. Oh, okay. In that case, are you sure you don't want to play? Jabberbox is already here, waiting for you, waiting for your battle. If not, we can get somebody else in here. We're chilling. Yeah, that's part of the draw of these Friday nights. Nothing's really on the line. We're just hanging out, playing some Tetris. So, yeah. Don't be too upset, win or loss. We're just hanging out, having fun. Playing a video game to have fun, believe it or not. And I say that as a very competitive player historically. Yeah, it's good to have chill sessions too. All right. Okay, well, if we're not going to have Tivo, we'll have to find an opponent for Jabberbox. I'll let Ferox get that sorted out. Possibly PH versus Rossini. Or Rossini. That's also true. Yeah, if you just want to watch, there's nothing wrong with that, depending on the day. I mean, I do that for tournaments. I don't always want to play in tournaments, right? But if I'm in the mood and I want to crush it, I'll hop in a tournament. Nothing wrong with just watching and doing your own thing. Well then, maybe we could just hop into PH versus Rossini, Ferox if you're listening, and then find somebody for Jabberbox here. My week was good. Yeah. How about you, Garbaggy? It's been a productive week. I feel like time is flying by this week. What song is this? It's All Nations from the Celebration level within Tetris Effect. The mastered version outside of the game. Oh yeah, feel free to chill and spectator. All right, well, let's get the next matchup going while Jabberbox is rooting in the stands here. So Rossini and PH. Rossini might be a new player to Community Showcase. I know PH just recently has joined the fray. All right, let's get them in here. Let's get going. Let's get some score battles started. Oh, true. Yeah, it could be weird to hear some of the songs without the in-game sound effects because they're kind of meant to be played with it, with the sound effects right. There are some songs that play very differently on the soundtrack. What's the one? I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But when you're in effect modes for all clear and combo, I love the soundtrack variation of that. All right, looks like our players are in here. PH and Rossi. Oh, let me set it to first to... How many matches do we have tonight? We have time for first to two. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Score attack match is going to last a while. All right, we're going to get started. All right, level 10 start. I think level 10 start is one of my favorites in score attack. It allows for a little bit more freestyle play. With that being said, I think ST stacking or the meta in score attack at level 15 and 20 starts can be fun when you give it the when you take the time to learn it at the highest level, that is. If that all sounded completely foreign to you, don't worry about it. We'll probably get around to covering it. So, and yeah, I'll drop a guide in chat later for those that might want to learn the meta strategies, as outlined from our TECWC champion Super Shocky. Yeah, so Rossi here on the left, PH on the right. PH with a nice start. They are moving a little faster, so that score lead may not be like a true pace lead, if that makes sense. If you're ahead on lines, you had more time to accrue points and get additional score, even though the efficiency rate, like the amount of T-spins, Tetrises, might be similar. So Rossi should have time to get caught up and is keeping their board pretty clean, honestly. So far, so good. My chat window just disappeared. Oh, there we go. Welcome in, Aiken. Oh, yes, walls was the trek. Hieroglyphics. That was straight hieroglyphics to me. But yes, with that being said, don't be afraid to ask any questions if you are new to the game. A lot of us have been playing this game for years, so it's like sometimes it's hard to put that all behind me and understand the game as someone perceiving it for the first time or trying to understand it for the first time. So if you need me to pump the brakes or explain anything further, do not hesitate. But yeah, for intro play, like even T-spins I consider advanced play, right? With score attack and early levels, you want to get as many T-spins as possible because a T-spin clears 2 lines, a Tetris clears 4 lines, and a T-spin can be worth just as much or near the amount of a Tetris, right? So ideally you're going for those T-spins to make the most out of your line values. So 50 lines cleared for Rossi. If that was all T-spin doubles, that'd be a lot more. Whereas if it's Tetrises, it'd be like near or close to half that value, depending on back-to-back and some other factors. But with that being said, if you are new to score attack, I would recommend, honestly, just going for Tetrises. knowing how to keep your board clean, have good fundamentals, and things like T-spins and pattern stacking, stuff like that can come later once you're ready and get over things like inefficient board placements or creating piece dependencies. For example, like creating 2 open columns, waiting for a long bar. Those kind of things can be avoided with proper fundamentals. But yeah, Rossi keeping it clean. Has been on this right side Tetris well for a long time now, so well done. PH, on the other hand, is ahead on score, but is also ahead on line, so this is actually really close. Is going to need to bring this board down a little bit. I think given this situation, definitely just want to take their time. And, oh, yeah, PH is getting really high here. Kind of some tough decisions to make. And not getting those line clears, so looking like Rossi with another line clear should take game number 1, and you two should play another, for sure. Let's see if PH can clean it up here for game number 2. And for those of you that are new, I guess the the proper etiquette is when you are ahead to kind of top out. But if you're on like PB pace or anything like that, feel free to play it out. PB being personal best. There we go. Playing it out is called a mullen in the community. If you watch a lot of classic Tetris, players that are high level will sometimes mullen if they're on personal best pace or something like that, or in like late game. But all right, yeah, you should certainly play another Rossi and PH. Let's see it. Run it back. I'll set it to first to 2. That was just a mistake for me. I think they entered before I could set it. Oh, PH. I don't know if PH heard me, but we should do one more. All right. So since we already played one, we'll just keep it first to 1, but I'll set it first to 2 for the upcoming match. All right. Alrighty. We are now live on TikTok. Let me see if I can keep up with these TikTok joins momentarily. Do some rapid fire. Okay. So once again, we have Rossi on the left, PH on the right. We'll see if PH can keep their board a little cleaner this time. So far, so good. But yeah, playing on level 10, which can be a bit tricky if you are newer, because it doesn't give you quite as much time as the other early levels in terms of giving you time to think out what your next move should be. But that being said, PH is hard dropping a little bit, so seems comfortable at this speed, right? Oh, interesting. But yeah, Rossi has been doing a really good job of keeping the board Tetris ready. Does have this bottom row waiting, but can always get back to that later. Try to maintain back-to-back, and then if it just so happens that they can clear up that column or that row a bit easier later on, they can do so. and yeah, let's do this. So, all right, PH, show us what you got. Tetris for PH. Rossi does clean up that row that was asking to be cleared earlier on. Welcome in Wiley on TikTok if you're watching. Oh, I think Wiley left. Sag. Oh, Wiley's back. Welcome in, Wiley. Wiley cannot TikTok, apparently. I don't know what Wiley can do if they can't Twitch, TikTok, etc. All right, Wiley is back. Welcome back. Our one TikTok chatter so far. All right. But Wiley, I believe, recently hosted a limited piece set tournament, which I need to go back and watch that. I think that's a cool concept. I have seen some crazy clips from that tournament format, though, so I'm all for it. But yeah, we're just doing some friendly community matches. If anyone is looking to participate, head to discord.gg/enhance and select that community event role. But yeah, this time PH kind of turning it around. I guess PH did have the score lead last time. Oh, you have a CTM match. How's your Classic doing, Wiley? Are you getting pretty good at Classic? You hyper tap in Modern already, so it should work out. I assume you're tapping then in Classic. But good luck in your CTM match. Yeah, also shout out, I believe there's another TEC tournament coming up on the 21st from Edge. A zone battle tournament next Saturday. I might be around to watch that one, so I definitely recommend. There was a recent community post in the NES server today if you're looking to learn more about that. But yeah, these Tetris matches are open to anyone to participate. So if you're just tuning in on TikTok or are tuning in for the first time, whether you found us through platform news, etc., you can be on the big screen, and I will talk about your match. All right, so we got a level transition here for PH, moving a little bit faster. With that being said, Rossi has a minor score lead, so being slightly more efficient here. If PH can extend this game, though, given that they seem to be a little bit of a faster player, perhaps they can play into some of the later levels, so that could play into PH's advantage. No PC, it says Garbaggy, excuse me. All right, yeah, we got some T-spins in the mix. T-spins is what you want in this game mode. Like we mentioned earlier, it is the most efficient clear, so if you manage to get the T-spin, it'll be worth it. However, I say that with a grain of because if you force a T-spin and it creates a lot of garbage, if it jeopardizes your stack in any way and you're not sure how to bring it back, going for the T-spins can be not the most useful. So early on, if you are like new to the game, I recommend just going for those Tetrises, and then when you learn how to keep your board nice and clean, you can mix in the T-spins. All right. T-spins are excellent, and go fishing for them if you are able to recognize the patterns. And it takes some time to get used to building T-spins. There's some amazing guides out there for sure. I mean, over the decades of players learning to master this game and learn how to play this game most efficiently. There is a guide actually in the chat. I believe Super Shock. Let me link it. Let me see if I remember what it is. ST guide. Is that right? Yes. So I just linked Super Shocky's ST stacking guide. Let me drop it in the YouTube chat as well. There we go. And even though, okay, so like trying to follow a guide, it can feel like work, especially when you are just trying to wind down and play a game, right? Like Tetris. But when you actually do pick up on the concepts and see these patterns that are in guides, whether it's S2 stacking, any kind of stacking, insert stacking name here, PC loops, perfect clear loops, stuff like that, it is really rewarding when you pick up on it and can kind of autopilot those methods into your gameplay, right? All right, so level 17 for Rossi, level 18 for PH as we get into these later levels. Pretty much instant gravity, to the point where you're not going to really see the piece actually executing the gravity part at this point. Yes, grass pelt with a really good point, and that's actually what I end up doing a lot, is just watching other people play, whether it's their stream videos, etc. This is how I learned Classic, was I would watch other people play it, and I'd pause the video and be like, this is where I want to put the piece next. And then I see where they put the piece, and I'm like, why do they put the piece there when I put the piece here? And then you can try to analyze the differences in your playstyle. It's good to have different playstyles, and I think Classic score attack is a little more arbitrary, or there's more options, ways to approach it. However, for something as efficient as score attack, or something that has very recognizable pattern stacking, it's definitely good to watch people like Shocky, Ferox, and anyone in TCWC try to analyze their gameplay and see why they made those stacking decisions. And I say analyze because it's really you're gonna remember it more if you like try to go step by step with each piece placement, right? Peach is a little bit high, but actually doing a really good job surviving. We are hitting that level 20 speed. So from here on out, it's going to lock in a little bit faster, be a lot harder to survive. And PH is already pretty high at the top here. Ooh, I think PH might be toast. And that is game. Rossi is good for game number 2. And in our theoretical best of 3 here is our winner. Thank you, Rossi, for participating. I can't recall if this is Rossi's first community showcase. So apologies if I don't remember the name, but definitely new to our community showcase, newer to the scene, and appreciate you being here. Next up, what do we have next? Next up is Night Shadow versus Aiken. Get on in here. Oh, yeah, happy to have you. Hopefully you enjoyed being on the screen. We always have our super top tier players on here, but it's nice to get everyone the chance to be on the big screen sometimes, right? But yeah, thanks for playing. How new are you to Tetris Effect as a whole? I see Toad's question in the Discord. Do you prefer Austin or Shen, or does it not matter? So I feel like newer members will call me Austin, but I've been in the community for years, and just in gaming in general. My Shen was always my gamer tag. I think anyone that has been gaming online for a long time can realize it's hard to change your gamer tag, because everyone will still call you by your original gamer tag if you change it, if that makes sense. So people will still call me Shen no matter what I put in front of here, in front of my name. Call me whatever you want, though. Call me Shen, like Garbaggy suggested. Benjamin Franklin is another one. But, all right. So Aiken and I guess I forgot to ping them. Night Shadow, right? All right. Yeah, you know what? Classic Tetris is really good for teaching stacking fundamentals because you're going to get like terrible piece sequences, right? So if you can stack well in Classic, chances are you can stack pretty well with more friendly piece generation. All right, looks like our players found their way here. Oh, let me set it to first to 3. First to 2, excuse me. And yeah, I'm ready for you two, and you are. Good luck, Aiken and Night Shadow. Well, Ferox, you probably heard me explain why my gamer tag is the way it is for... I explain it so often. All right. Yeah, I should just do a video and have a link for it. Oh, that is not the... There we go. Sponsored by Wii. AKA Night Shadow here on the left. And Aiken, a regular community showcase member, probably up there with Shock as in most community showcases attended. Always happy to have our regulars here. Regulars make the world go round for sure. Night Shadow using the customized block colors, Aiken using the traditional colors. A lot of players like to use traditional as in it's kind of a way to easily gauge your piece preview if you're used to like checking the color rather than the shape, if that makes sense. Not everyone thinks that way, but I personally also use the same color skin as Aiken when I'm trying to play competitively. When I'm playing like Journey mode or something, I try to use the customized blocks as a kind of add to the sensory experience you get from playing something like Journey mode, right? But yeah, that can be changed in the gameplay settings if you are more interested in using the same color scheme in both zone battle and score attack, and single player for that matter. Welcome in Light Rod saying Type C is best, which I believe is the... Yeah, there are also colorblind settings. You know, I've barely ever played with those, but they have like they have additional visual indicators, right? Kind of similar to like Game Boy pieces. Game Boy piece look and feel with colors mixed in. Tetris saying Aiken is cooking right now, and Aiken famously within our community are famously known around the world to use two-piece preview. Whatever floats your boat, if that's the way you want to play. And I feel like, yeah, you can still effectively stack with two-piece preview. We see players like Super Shocky can just consistently ST stack with one-piece preview even, whether it's like connected versus or whatever it may be, right? So do what's comfortable for you. All right, T-spin double for Aiken. Yeah, fishing for some T-spins here. Meanwhile, Night Shadow with this. I love going for these 4-5 stacks, meaning your open well will be in column 4, or I guess there's a not column 4. Excuse me, column 5 or 6. I think freestyling within 5-4 is a lot of fun. I tend to be a little Tetris heavier when I do it. You can maintain really good T-spin efficiency still in 5-4, but requires some pretty creative donation setups. Donations being like clever ways to set up T-spins using elevated setups, whatever it may be. Some floating T-spins. Oh no, Night Shadow had the right idea. Probably a tricky wall kick there for that long bar, or how to use the alternate rotation. All right, T-spin single from Night Shadow. Getting a little high on the board. Going to need to bring this down. At the same time, Night Shadow's going to want to maintain some efficiency, right? So, oh, with that being said, though, Night Shadow is 50 lines behind. So, Aiken playing pretty far in the future. This 230,000 can certainly be overcome within 50 lines here with Tetrises and T-spins. So, Aiken is not in the clear for this win. Especially with how high Aiken is stacking currently. Oh, that was a rough misdrop for Night Shadow. I can see where that piece was supposed to be placed. Oh, welcome in, Policy. The community thread is not invite only. You can find the thread in the event post. I believe our event is live even on the Enhanced Discord, so you can just click event details when you open the Discord, and the matchmaking thread should be in there. Oh, thank you, Lightrod, with the tag there. So Aiken still, getting a nice down stack sequence there. Does open up that well on the left. And it's back to, is now ready to score once again. Yeah, Night Shadow also had some misdrops of their own, so they weren't able to kind of capitalize on that down stacking session that Aiken had to overcome there at the top. But now Aiken is scoring ready, dropping 2 Tetrises there. Sponsored by Wii is back in the game, true. All right. But as we approach this late game, it's going to be a little bit harder to maintain that Tetris ready state as gravity is higher. When gravity is a bit higher, it can be harder to maintain a clean stack because of that instant stack. So you have to, or that instant lock-in rather, or instantly hitting the bottom of the board. So you have to be a little bit more clever or knowledgeable of how to stack given high gravity. But so far, with that being said, Night Shadow's doing a pretty good job here. Is Tetris ready? We'll see if Night Shadow can nab that Tetris. Much needed at this point. Does create a hole in their stack, but they are Tetris ready and drop it. There we go. Tetris for Night Shadow, who is still behind quite a bit online. So I feel like they can actually make this close. However, Aiken is kind of running away in terms of speed. So, like, can Night Shadow even clear 80 lines within 2 minutes? If so, I think there might be an opportunity to get caught up here. But that is one thing that can be easier to do at lower level speed starts. You can actually kind of attempt to force that 2-minute timer, right, against your opponent if you are playing a lot faster, and put the pressure on them to get caught up and score here. But Aiken showing good sportsmanship, cheering Night Shadow on here. Yeah, Aiken topping out at speed level 26, as Lightrod pointing out, about is close to Master Mode level 15 for those of you that have attempted Master Mode in the effect modes, which is not for the faint of heart. Is that even? That might even be the description text. I'm trying to remember what Master Mode description text is when you're hovering over it. Yeah, so Night Shadow having trouble finding T-spins or Tetrises with this high gravity. It's doing a good job though, like thinking on the fly for their for survivability purposes. Nice use of the spin there. Ooh, 1 second, and time is up, unfortunately, for Night Shadow. And Aiken is in the clear. So Aiken utilizing that speed, putting pressure on to Night Shadow there. ASS. Love to see it. Okay, so... You know what? I think if Night Shadow has a cleaner start, this is actually a pretty close matchup. If Night Shadow can maintain Tetris-ready state for a longer period on these early levels. And going for the 6-3 stack. And Aiken with some misdrops here. So we'll see if Night Shadow can capitalize. But yeah, early on, I guess advice to new players: if you see your opponent playing like faster than you, don't fret. As long as you focus on your fundamentals and efficient stacking, even just going for straight up Tetrises in the left or right wheel, chances are you're going to be able to overcome your opponent, who might be a little faster anyways. I think we even saw that in our first match, right? Like Rossi, a bit slower, but was maintaining really clean Tetris gameplay. Definitely recommend players to just keep it simple starting out and then add complexities when you're ready for it. T-spin double there for Aiken. There we go. Nice Tetris for Night Shadow in that center well. Ooh, getting really... Ooh, that misdrop. That's scary. All right, bringing that down a little bit. Oh my, indeed. If this was a classic score tech, I'd be super stressed. But fortunately, we're only on speed level 5 and can kind of get around it. Yeah, so Night Shadow doing a good job. Who's on deck here? So, okay, Coffee and Tetris and Shock will be on deck if you two are ready. If not, just let me know in the Discord. Nice stacking from Aiken so far. And Night Shadow is Tetris ready. Oh, I was about to say boom Tetris, but they held the long bar to keep their board clean. There we go. Double Tetris, back-to-back bonus for Night Shadow. Nicely done. Aiken with covering up the well. So Night Shadow might be able to take advantage of this. Unfortunately, Night Shadow does have a long bar dependency on the right. Does fill it in with the LP, so I like that. Is that Pride Rock? The Pride Rock misdrop. Almost Ninub will be a good person to go sit or lay down in the field and try to call out what shape a cloud is. All right, so Aiken kind of running away with a score lead. Like I mentioned earlier, it's playing a little bit faster, so there's a lot of runway for Night. Ooh, nice spin from Night Shadow. A lot of runway for Night Shadow to get caught up here. I think if Night Shadow just kind of keeps it simple here, try to get some Tetrises, they can certainly get caught up here. Ooh, nice spin there from Night Shadow. Aiken has some Tetrises waiting, needs to get to that column 7. Opens it up and drops a Tetris, very nice. Maintaining a center well can be pretty tricky at high gravity. Typically, the metagame at the highest level, players will try to stack in a column further to the left or right and with a higher center so that you can get your pieces where you need to get them. But Aiken trying to make this 6-3 work. Making some clever decisions to keep it up. Night Shadow keeping the board low. Doing a nice job of that. We'll see if they can squeeze in some Tetrises here. And one thing to point out too, like these higher levels, your Tetrises will be worth more. So you'll also be able to overcome that gap if you do have a nice clean run. Yeah, and Aiken with some misdrops here on level 21. Yeah, fractal setups are one of my favorites. Kind of like a double-decker T-spin double. Right over top of each other. If we see it again, I'll call it out. I think fractals are also a pretty approachable strategy, or T-spin setup strategy for newer players. Sometimes setting up a fractal will require you to use a T-piece, meaning you won't have that T-piece for the T-spin, but still, in a game that can favor speed, especially in like zone battle, when it comes to farming zone, wasting a T-piece to set up a fractal is totally okay. Unless you're playing against a Kashirobo, you better be careful. But that goes for anybody. Okay. So nice stacking from Aiken, who is getting into these higher gravity levels. We'll see if Aiken can get past 26, which they got to the last game. Is it really a waste if you're making art? Absolutely not. All right, Ninub, what does Aiken's board look like now? We had Pride Rock earlier. This is more of a, this is more of space, just empty black. All right, so Night Shadow with 2 minutes to overcome quite a bit of score. So Aiken doing a really good job of mixing in efficiency here. Either way, even if Night Shadow can't overcome this, let's see if Night Shadow can get to a later level here. It's always fun to root for high levels in score attack. Oh, thank you, Ferox. I am... Okay, I'm not even going to try to joke. I am not the best. I'm a doodler, okay? I can come up with really creative doodles, and joking like funny art, but I can't. If I'm trying to draw something realistic, that is not me. Yes, exactly. Like my enhanced buck sticker. That is exactly my art style. I used to like to do like some like symmetry kind of art, but that's it's more so like tracing in a way. Anyways, Night Shadow, 20 seconds. Show us what you got. End with a big bang Tetris. Ooh. There we go. Getting to late levels too, and actually, you know what? Even cleaner board here for Night Shadow in this late game. But time is up, and yeah, thank you two for playing. Pleasure to have you back, Night Shadow. I think Aiken might have the crown for most Community Showcase matches played. Got to be up there. But yeah, we're gonna move on into Coffee and Tetris versus Shock. Yeah, Shock 59 also a contender for most. We need a spreadsheet for who has played the most Community Showcase matches. Okay. So Coffee and Tetris and Shock make your way to the lobby. It should be pinned. Let me see. Is it pinned? It is in the pin message. Here, I'll tag you with it anyways. I'm not sure if Coffee and Tetris is here. It says they're away. If not, we can figure that out. Yeah, nice games, you two. Aiken was kind of crushing it there, so don't feel bad either. Are combos good for score at all? No. They're really good in multiplayer 1v1, but not really for scoring purposes. Unless you mess with the custom settings. We did try doing that recently. You can actually turn up combo bonuses and turn down. You can turn off T-spin Tetris bonuses, which is kind of fun. But in actual 1v1, no. Combos are very negligible in terms of score. Looks like our players are in here. Good luck, have fun. DT cannon in a 4-wide score attack. No, I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, even like Ferox says, going for a Tetris will be worth more score. It's good for it's worth it for style points. If you're not worried about winning, if you're worried about just flexing, depends on the player, I guess. But no, like yeah, if you're looking to try it for fun, I know you can turn on you can turn up score bonuses for combos and turn down the other bonuses in like custom game settings. If anyone even tonight wants to try that, we can give it a go just to watch. But yeah, so Shock with a really clean Tetris well, and Morg here, aka Coffee and Tetris, also with a clean well set up. I am all for Tetris battles here. This just goes to show good discipline, and you don't need to do the most exciting thing to take wins in score attack. Even just really clean back-to-back play can carry you to a certain extent if you're just trying to climb the ladder and get some SR. And actually, that's where I recommend you start for any new players. Just try to do 09 Tetris stacking. 09 being having the well on the right, or if you prefer the well on the left, that'd be 9-0. But yeah, and then you can get creative from there. Even with 9-0 stacking, there's good strategies to it's called kaiden, which means stairs in Japanese, to kind of like prop an S or Z piece against the wall, and you can easily create a T-spin. So I think 9-0 is a good start if you're new to the game, and then there are some easy ways to mix in T-spin setups, and then once you pick up on one T-spin setup, you might kind of see additional T-spin setups. So it's a way to gradually get better at a mode like this. How's their ghost piece blue? Yeah, I think it probably just depends on the piece color. The ghost pieces actually look really nice in zone battle if you have your graphics maxed out. And the color, like the mirrored colors. I love just watching customized colors in zone battle. That is one thing for sure, that Tetris Effect is nice on the eyes. Not everyone is keen on, the moving backgrounds. You can disable that if you're just trying to get sweaty and focus on the gameplay. You can always disable that. I believe that's a community suggestion following the launch of Connected. Yeah, PPT is a different kind of visually appealing game, right? It's more cartoony. Cartoony's not a bad thing, though. Yeah, I think in the end I do prefer Tetris Effect visuals. Although I am biased, so maybe I'm not the best person to ask. And yeah, shout out to Ishihara-san for the game's art director, and just a director in general. I did play through Journey Mode again recently, and every time I play through it again for the first time in a while, I'm like, this game is very visually pleasing. Especially if you're just chilling out, trying to soak it in, and not like get sweaty and go for high scores or anything like that. Okay. Shock a little bit high here, but does fill in this long bar, or has the long bar for the dependency here, and decides to use it. And look at that, we have another long bar ready. There we go. I think Shock had the opportunity to get 3 Tetrises in a row, and I just had a flashback. There was an old Tetris game that had an achievement. I think it was called Tetris Evolution on the Xbox 360. I think the achievement was you had to get 3 Tetrises in a row. It's a complete RNG achievement because not often does that happen, but just something I remembered. Three Tetrises in a row, like back-to-back clears. All right. So really clean stacking from both players. Shock is a bit ahead on the line, so Morg can get caught up here. Morg does have some cheese to work through, so we'll see if they're able to clear this up while maintaining efficiency. There's either that or you clear it up as quickly as you can. You could try to get some like Tetrises and T-spins while you're doing it, but that's it can be a little bit risky depending on how comfortable you are going for that kind of thing, right? Especially within the high gravity. So Morg's playing a little more conservative. Has a decent sequence here to kind of get through it. Nicely stacked so far. So yeah, getting in there. Almost there. Almost on the clear. And this comes with a lot of practice. But yeah, sometimes you want to know, kind of like have good foresight and see what row you're stacking over next, if that makes sense, so you can place a piece. Knowing that you're going to clear a line, you don't want to cover the next open well, right? That takes a lot of practice, but if Moore can overcome this piece dependency here, I think they'll be in the clear. Unfortunately, oh, that was poorly timed with that high gravity. Morg does have a high center here, though. And there we go. Morg is almost on that open right well, maybe in a more comfortable position, and can possibly get caught up from there if Shock can't maintain Tetrises. And there we go. A very nice board now for Morg. And Shock with this double well on the left, so it's going to have to take some burns. We'll see if Morg can overcome this deficit and maintain a clean stack. It's going to be a little bit harder as these high speeds approach. But there is an opportunity now that Morg is caught up. Even if you are behind, you got to play it out, because have you ever thrown the video game? Have you ever been ahead and lost? If you have, you should know that you can get caught up if you are in the other player's shoes. I personally have never made a mistake and always play perfect, but yeah, there's a chance your opponent can make some grave mistakes, so you got to play it out. Story of your life. The fact that you're perfect, LB. Okay. But my point being, yeah, certainly play out your games. I think it's also just a good mentality to have. Even if you're like severely behind, you never know what your opponent's gonna do. They could just make a top out mistake or completely botch their lead somehow, and just accept the challenge. Okay. Actually, kind of like Morg stack. Almost Tetris ready. It is getting a little rough now. I think these high speeds might be putting on some pressure. Maybe a little less comfortable with the quicker lock. And Shock does top out at 26, 270k deficit, and Morg also tops out. So never mind for my spiel. And yeah, really nice game from Shock, hitting that SS grade. This is a pretty close matchup. I feel like Morg can definitely take some games with some cleaner opens. All right, so we got a thumbs up from Shock for that level 10 start. Good luck, have fun. Oh yeah, in mystery mode, you never know what kind of luck you'll get. It could be starting off very bad, and then you'll get like some all clears. All clear. So when you get the all clear effect in mystery mode, it actually gives you that all clear bonus, and it cleans up your board. So yeah, play out your mystery games. Just a reminder for those listening, I think both are in the chat. Garbaggy and LB, you'll be up next. I see any bag as a note there. As in, I guess, If you want to change your custom settings, let me know. We'll have Nobody versus Toad, Policy versus Grass Pelt, Noriko, aka Mr. FAQ versus Tetris, Twiz, possibly Twiz. And just a note for Ferox, keep my time in mind, but I think it should be okay. All right. I think we are getting to the point where you might want to close the queue. Or we can just do best of ones for any stragglers late to the party. All right, we got a close matchup so far. Morg dropping some Tetrises. Shock with a nice T-spin single to clean up the board. This first long bar is only going to clear a single, but now they are Tetris ready. So actually pretty neck and neck, considering Shock is ahead by 11 lines. That's 3 Tetrises worth. Just about. Don't correct me on my math. I understand. All right. I like that Morg likes these left wells. I feel like most players will opt for the right. Am I wrong on that? I might be wrong. It doesn't really matter in modern Tetris, but in classic Tetris, you actually want to use the right well. It allows you to get long bars to the right a little faster. There is some favoritism there, but for score attack, it doesn't matter. Nor does it for zone battle or connected versus. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Ferox. So Morg with a really nice start this time around. Only just over 1,000 separating the players, and Morg does take a lead with that double Tetris. Really nice stacking from Morg. Actually, a nice foresight there with the tuck as well on that J piece. But Shock is not gonna go down without a fight here. Is Tetris ready? Drops it, should take the lead. So we got back and forth on lead changes here. And actually going for a T-spin double. And there we go, T-spin for Shock. Getting a lot more value out of the 2 lines rather than a Tetris, which is 4 lines. Just bear in mind, with every line clear, you are going to advance the game. So T-spin doubles are what you want, as they are more efficient. Okay. Oh, Shock fishing for some T-spin doubles now. It's able to surprisingly able to piece crawl that over. I've probably struggled with that. And yeah, really nicely played so far from Shock, mixing in some T-spins to actually get a little bit of a lead. With that being said, this T-spin, there's pluses and minuses, right? If you force a T-spin and the stack kind of fails you, you're going to have to clear some singles and stuff. So that's the risk reward of setting up T-spins. With that being said, though, Shock finds a nice Tetris, kind of stacking over the mistakes and making sure to get some extra score. Meanwhile, Morg, with a really clean stack, should have some potential to get caught up here. This has been a really close match. Morg stacking a lot better than last game, or running into less errors and just keeping it simple, and it's really paying off. It seems like if Morg doesn't run any misdrops or any really bad piece dependencies, they do a good job of keeping the board clean and being Tetris ready, which is nice to see. But we'll see as these later levels approach. Shock did manage to get to a higher level than Morg in the last game, so that could be a factor. Welcome in, Wiley. Doing great, mate. Good luck in your match, Wiley. Oh yeah, CTM match. Everyone give Wiley a good luck. Has a classic Tetris match coming up. Or did you already play your match? Give us a scoop. Meanwhile, we have a close match here. Ooh, that double square right in the center. That's actually pretty smart for Morg, knowing that if you have a high center and a high gravity, allows you to kind of, as we see here, shimmy your piece to left or right, depending on the situation. So pretty good choice from Morg, especially depending on if they're less comfortable here on high gravity. It gives them some options to decide where to place the pieces. And Shock could get a Tetris here. Okay, actually, I wasn't sure if Shock could make it to that far left well. But, so yeah, some singles and doubles from Shock and Morg at the moment. They're really close game. All right, we got a double Tetris for Shock. Back-to-back bonus. Taking the lead. This time Morg is ahead on lines, actually, so got a real pace lead here for Shock. Not by too much, though. This can easily be overcome, as Tetrises are worth more as these levels move upward. We do have some cheese in row 3 from Morg, so this first Tetris will be a triple, but now they are Tetris ready. Well, this first line clear will be a triple. First Tetris will not be a triple. All right. Shock is starting to run away with it after being a really close match throughout. We'll see if Morg can try to mix in some efficiency here, despite these levels becoming harder to deal with. Yeah, Morg had a super clean game, but has kind of lost that comfort zone, right? It seems like Morg really prefers to be stacking on that left well for Tetrises, but as these levels get higher, it becomes a little more difficult and the pieces lock in faster, right? So we'll see if Morg can perform a big comeback here. Shock has been more comfortable on these higher levels. And that's totally in the realm of possibility. Too many for Morg, I think. So far, so good. Nice down stack there. But despite that, we're already on level 25. So Morg's going to need like some scoring, which is really hard to do at this level. And that is GG. Shock takes the win. And feel free to play it out, Shock, if you want to try to go for some level 30 kind of play. So yeah, GG. That was really close. Close match. Morg definitely stepped it up in that round. And both players hitting that SS grade. Nicely played. And thanks for the games. Up next is... Wait for it. I forgot. So up next is why am I am not in the right place. There we go. There's a thread. LB and Garbaggy. LB is already in here. I had the chance to see both of these players at a recent regional in Ohio, which was a lot of fun. Good old Ohio. Garbaggy is a legend. Wiley was also there, yeah. Garbaggy brought the vibes, brought the good vibes, brought the posse. Had an entourage. All right, so... Oh, do you need the room code, Garbaggy? Oh, they are in here. Okay. Yeah, when you two are ready, are we just doing default rules? You want me to pick some rules for you? If you can't decide, I'll do so. Otherwise, yeah, you can hop into it. I love Tetris Pet Connected. That is a real person in our chat. No bots saying they love Tetris Pet Connected. No lag. Is there stream lag? Are we back? Oh, that was weird. I love the chat side by side here. I don't know why the stream dipped out for a sec. All right, what are we doing, guys? Are we just going, or do we want a rule change or something? Let me know. Here, we can... okay, we're hopping into it. Oh, Wiley DDoSing. Got it. Super hacker man over here. Have you guys seen the movie Hackers with I remember we watched it in school. I don't know why we watched it in school. Very educational film, now that I think about it. I think Angelina Jolie's in it. I think, right? I'm trying to remember the other actress' name. Yes, Policy beat me to it. But pretty much Wiley is like a character from that movie, in my eyes. All right. LB with a nice 7-2 stack. I love 7-2 stacks. I guess ST stacking is also 7-2, right? There's a lot you can do with it. And it plays really nicely into high gravity, because you can keep a high center. Ferox, that's kind of mean, saying Australia doesn't exist. We have 2 Australians here in the chat. he might be very insulted. Isn't it New Zealand that is never on the map? So New Zealand doesn't exist. Nice T-spin set up there for LB. Yeah, Australia and New Zealand are the same country. True. It's a really clean Tetris play from Garbaggy. And yeah, even if you are setting up 9-0 Tetrises, you can try to prop S and Z pieces if that's up your alley for T-spins. We hear you now, Mr. FAQ. Welcome in. But yeah, I'll be mixing in T-spins. I think Garbaggy is maintaining a cleaner board overall, despite only going for Tetrises, and I guess that could be a bit of the trade-off, right? If you make some mistakes with your T-spin setups, it can certainly spiral. With that being said, though, like sometimes when you make a misdrop with the ST stacking, right, it could be like really hard to deal with, but the more experience you have, more often than not, you can turn a misdrop into another T-spin double. All right. So Garbaggy using that long bar to fill in the left. Has a really clean board. Ooh, mixing in the T-spin single. Or was that a mini? There we go, into a Tetris. But yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, actually, when you go 9-0, if you're good at setting up Kaidens or familiar with like ST stacking, you can actually mix in a lot of T-spins, more than you would realize, or with clever donations, etc. Not quite as efficient as 7-2, but there's a lot of tools at your disposal. All right, so Garbaggy playing a little bit faster, meaning that I think LB actually has the efficiency lead currently. We'll see if Garbaggy can kind of force... you can force speed and put pressure on your opponent. Maybe if Garbaggy was maintaining more efficient Tetris rate even. Could apply some pressure. But LB's doing a nice job. As I say that, LB is running into some issues. And does see the T-spin 0. Just to clean up the board. Thought about setting up another T-spin, but I think that was wise to just get into a comfortable board state here and then find the T-spins. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure what my PB is in score attack. I've had some pretty high scores. I've had the biggest scores. Scores you wouldn't believe, they're so big. I broke 2 million at some point. I think. I don't want to lie. I'm pretty sure I've broken 2 million. Oh, I wasn't catching what Garbaggy was cooking. I missed it. I think they were trying to flip the sautéed veggies in a pan, and unfortunately dropped that pan, and all the veggies and all the oil fell onto their shorts and could have burned actually. But on to the next game. Yo score attack. I assume that you meant yo. Or you score attack. And you score attack. Welcome in, Dias Allure. Is there any room to play tonight? I think the queue is closed. Unless I'm going to be here until, let's have a 10-hour community showcase tonight, everybody. We're going to go for a long one tonight. No, I think we're going to wind up here probably within the next 40 minutes. I think we already have our matches lined up. Might need a first one room soon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, first come, first serve for community showcase. If these get more popular, maybe we'll have a more I don't know, I almost like the first come, first serve for something more relaxed like this, but you know, once we have millions of players trying to participate, maybe we'll change it up. And open to feedback if you are looking for if you want to see certain things out of community showcases, definitely let me know. We're open to doing different things. All right. So Garbaggy has some garbage to work through here. Garbaggy has garbage. Ooh, but Garbaggy going for the Z-spin triple. That's something I rarely do. I'm inspired. I gotta mix more Z-spin triples into my life. Yes, funny spins are awesome. I would argue those are probably the least executed spins, right? Probably Z and S spin triples are the least known spins, or they can be helpful, like we just saw. So definitely showing off some knowledge there. Am I missing? Because even in like the all clear mode, the effect mode, they don't really happen, do they? Either way, Garbaggy back into a nice scoring position. Has a little bit still to work through, but getting there. All right, so they could turn this into a Tetris, kind of stack over the... Okay, deciding to mix in a T-spin single there with the back-to-back bonus and find their way back to the right wheel, possibly the comfort zone of Garbaggy. And a little hesitation. I guess there was some different options that Garbaggy could have gone through there. And is Tetris ready? Is double Tetris ready? That back-to-back bonus goes a long way, so ideally Garbaggy can maintain this well for a long time. As I say that, kind of a rough misdrop on the T piece. Meanwhile, LB having to do a little cleanup on their end. Is Tetris ready now? High gravity finesse can be a bit weird. You have to like know when to left rotate and right rotate to be the most efficient at high gravity. And if you single rotate for a lot of the pieces, it can be a little bit jarring. There are certain situations where it doesn't really make sense sometimes, but you're going to want to rotate you're going to want to counter rotate sometimes based on the super rotation system animation frames as I fix my glasses. All right, so I heard the music change. We are now on level 21. Our Garbaggy is a little bit in the future here. And both players in a nice scoring position. It is actually very close. LB is 20 lines in the past, so actually I would argue a little bit more pressure on Garbaggy to get caught up. But so far, Garbaggy is keeping it clean. LB is actually doing some burning, so Garbaggy can get caught up and has gotten a bit of a real-time lead. There are some options to... Yeah, I think Garbaggy wanted a Z piece to kind of rotate in there and was fishing for it, but it was a little too far back. So taking some singles. And these high speed levels are likely going to matter here with how close it is. Can LB play into these late levels and get caught up? They are caught up. So pressure now once again on Garbaggy. Ooh. Yeah, getting a little messy. That high gravity kicking in for Garbaggy. You really start to feel it post level 25. And LB is your victor. That was a close match. GG's. GG. Cody Kai saying Garbaggy is still my hero. We all still believe in our hero Garbaggy. Yeah, nice games. Thank you, too, for playing. Who's up next? I am Nobody 026 versus Toad SPD. Make your way to the lobby, please. Did we ever find somebody for Jabberbox? Jabberbox is still spectating patiently. Oh, we even have the... Nice. Thank you for that, Ferox. We've got a bit of a mix-up here. Or no, I'm sorry. That's Policy versus Grass Pelt. Okay. So I'm Nobody versus Toad. Is Toad here? Oh, thank you. I'm Nobody. I hope everyone is going to, or is having a good start to their weekend, and will continue to have a good weekend. Anyone playing any new video games, got any plans they want to share, feel free to drop it in the chat. I've been playing through Astrobot. May still be playing this game we know as Tetris from time to time this weekend. The classics. Card game tournament. What kind of card game? We talking euchre, like traditional card games, or Dominion, Magic, Pokemon? Didn't actually play versus Pokemon. I remember trying to play the Pokemon card game with my brother when we were like younger, and it was just like weird. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! I forgot about Pal World. Are you on your way, Toad? I see you typing. Gotta finish your ranked match. I'm looking your ranked match. What other games have I been playing? Playing a little bit of Deadlock. It's a lot of fun. Fun competitive game. Waiting for my new RTS games to come out. Or real-time strategy games. There we go. Toad has found their way into the lobby. And has left the lobby. Elden Ring has been on the back burner for me for a long time. I've been wanting to play it. I know it's just a very... How do I put it? It's an award-winning game, so I feel like I need to play it at some point. I just don't play a whole lot of, I guess, open-world games. When I do get immersed, I like them. But, oh, wrong scene. Hello. There we go. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they can be a drag, right? Not a drag in a bad way, just like they're very long. Which is a good and bad thing. Like, you get a lot of value out of it, but I don't know if I want to dedicate that much time to it, if that makes sense. It's usually my issue with it. But when I commit to it, I usually finish it. Ooh, we got some clean. Here we go. Let me plug in that ST stacking guide once again here in our Twitch chat. If you want to learn to ST stack like we see on the screen, check out the guide written by our champion. Our score attack champion at that, Super Shocky. Definitely a good place to start. And if guides aren't your thing, if you don't want to, if you're trying to relax with Tetris and not trying to have school when you sit down and play this game, another good way to do it is just to watch other players and pick up on patterns that way. Whether they're streaming on Twitch or if you're watching, we have TECWC replays on our YouTube. And maybe try to analyze what kind of moves they're making, how you make moves differently. Toad has some things to work through here. Nice use of the counter rotation there for that long bar spin. But yeah, so cleaner start for I Am Nobody. But anything can happen. It's still pretty early on here in the match. And I like what Toad's doing, just trying to make sure they mix in that efficiency. And there we go. T-spin double for Toad. He finds a T-spin single. Ooh, that was a clever I spin for Toad. See if he can keep it. Yeah, it's hard to do at this point, but see if we can keep the efficiency going. Meanwhile, I'm Nobody with a pretty clean stack is this a true ST stack? Actually using the ST piece or the S piece? Almost everyone actually does ZT stacking. Oh no, we're back to ST or ZT. Why is that? Is it just because maybe players watch other players and are trying to learn from them, and they preferred the right will? I guess. What's the reasoning? Anyone have any conspiracy theory onto why people use the right will for ST stacking? I want to hear the worst conspiracies. But yeah, I'm nobody with a bit of a lead here. Having some issues though, so there should be an opportunity for Toad to get caught up here if he can mix in more T-spin doubles. Because the color red is aggressive and it gives people Hulk energy to do the hype overstack. Hulk energy as in, well, I guess red as a color can also be intimidating, right? If you're playing a sport, if you're playing football or soccer, would you rather play against a team with green jerseys or red jerseys? I think red's not too intimidating. Black jerseys might be a little more intimidating, at least at first. Although it's going to be a little toasty. All right. T-spin double for Toad. Another T-spin double. These high speed T-spin doubles are very important if Toad needs to get caught up here. Both players on high levels, so I'm not sure how comfortable Toad is in or who here is better in high gravity play, but there's always a chance. Well, there's not always a chance, but there is still a chance in this, judging by some high-level score tech I've seen in the past. And Toad is going to top out, though. And I'm nobody actually looking pretty clean here on these master speed levels. We'll see how far nobody can get. I'd honestly rather play against green because it reminds me of leprechauns. Okay. But here's one thing. If you're playing against teams that are less intimidating, it could affect your play. Maybe you'll be like, oh, this team seems a joke with their green jerseys. I'm not going to try as hard as I would against somebody with a red or black jersey, right? So that could also be, if you kind of play that mind game, maybe you want a more welcoming, friendly jersey. All right, game number 2. Nobody. This is actually a pretty nice matchup. I think nobody just had a cleaner opener last game, and Toad got into some trouble. But Toad obviously has a knowledge. See if he can keep it cleaner this time around. I think nobody used, a few too many T pieces in their stack on the left. So is going to have to bring this down. So Toad with a relatively better start, but does break ST. Having some problems. But, we'll see if Toad can keep it efficient. Who's on deck? I just want to make sure whoever is on deck is ready so we can get through these games. Policy and Grasspelt on deck, okay. And then Mr. FAQ, aka Noriko versus Tetris. Ferox, maybe we could do Jabberbox versus Twiz or Hyazen Fillet, one of them, just so that we have a unique match. Or, I don't know, I'll let you decide. And then that should be the end of our queue. Catquick saying it begins to feel very hard to play at level 27 and on level 28. Yeah, it really starts to skyrocket following. I think it goes up exponentially following level 25, right? You start to feel that curve a little bit more. Like you said, especially from 27 to 28, then 28 to 29 is a very stark difference as well. But yeah. Spin my beloved, I missed it. How's our game going? Ooh, clever Cheeseman set up for Toad. Very nice. Nobody certainly has a cleaner stack. Seems to be having trouble finding a way to get back into that ST. This is looking pretty good. There's some options here. We'll see if nobody can find them. Also, shout out to Nobody for having one of the most confusing usernames for those listening on radio. Ooh, that's a rough misdrop. Accidentally put the S piece a little too far to the right. So we'll see if Toad can get a little bit caught up here. It is actually very close. And both players are running into mistakes. This is a nice scrappy battle. We'd love to see it. Two players who seem to really understand what ST stacking is, but execution is harder than it looks. So definitely a shout out to the players that can consistently ST stack and maintain a really clean board. It looks simple, but it's actually pretty difficult to maintain. Okay. So we are approaching these higher levels here. T-spin double for Nobody, finding some donations. It can be pretty tricky to maintain a center well and high gravity play, but Nobody's doing a good job. Toad dropping a Tetris. You know what? In a way, I kind of like what Toad has going on in terms of board state. If Toad can kind of turn it into some T-spin doubles here. Can possibly bring this back a little bit. Worth pointing out, Nobody is ahead on lines, so Toad has potential to kind of tie this up score-wise, as these later levels T-spin doubles and Tetrises are worth much more. Welcome in, KJF. Ooh, Nobody tops out at level 28. hitting 1.155 mil. Nicely done. Toad about to hit 1 mil on their end. And there we go. T-spin single for Toad. Let's see if he can get some extra efficiency. The thing is, the gravity's high. All right, there's one. Every line clear is going to force this game to progress into more unmanageable speeds. So every line clear counts. Oh, man. Yeah, it's really... it can be pretty difficult to force T-spins on this speed. And level 28. Let's see what Toad can do here. And that is game. Very close. GG. Look at it. Yeah, very close in terms of their line scoring average. Nicely played. And nobody takes it 2-0. GG's. GG's. All right. Next up, we have policy and grass pelt, right? Make your way to the lobby. It's already getting pretty late here, so find your way to the oh, they are quick. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh wait, let me set the settings for you guys. Let's see, what did they want? So we are going to be doing bag classic. Scoring template classic. Hold is off. It's at the bottom here. Piece preview 1. Oh, there we go. I think that's it. So we're doing some classic meets score attack here. Should be interesting. So I guess it's like classic Tetris with modern speeds and spins. So I'm ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. Uh-oh. Our lobby, okay. I heard some weirdness with people leaving and joining, so hopefully that didn't mess with anything. Looking like we might need to do a reboot here. All right, yes, we certainly need to do a reboot. Back to chat. Friendly PSA to try to stay out of the lobbies in case, unless you're playing for that reason. All right, let's get a reboot going. Yeah, Ferox certainly broke the lobby. Okay. I think we're all set again on the rule set. I think for real, we should be ready this time. Level 13 start. Going for all the weird. All right. So a bit of a mix-up by request from our players, and yeah, if anyone else tonight wants to mix up their settings, feel free. You can just ask your opponent. So we have classic bag, no hold, one piece preview, and classic scoring. So Tetrises are the way to go here. So in a way, yeah, you're going to want to try to stack like it is classic score attack. It might get pretty hard to do with higher gravity, so you might just want to go to a nice 9-0 stack. Almost stack like you would in like something like Tetris Grandmaster, right? Although, I mean, TGM has different spinning methods and ways to stack around that, but generally just want to stack for Tetrises as cleanly as possible, and it is easier said than done without hold and without extra piece previews and with that classic bag RNG. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say there is no metagame necessarily for how to approach this. I'm trying to like theory craft a little bit. I feel like, yeah, you're just going to want to maintain a 9-0 stack, right? What do you guys think? You just want a nice high center so you can move your pieces to the left and right still. Yeah, it is literally classic with SRS. Yeah, and I guess you're not going to want to even stack a center well, knowing that there are no T-spin bonuses, right? So. Yeah, I agreed, Mr. FAQ. And one thing to note on that, so yeah, don't get too greedy, burn if stack gets too high. I think with SRS, or with the more, not liberal rule set, but the, yeah, I guess you can play a little bit more aggressive with the modern spins and lack of instant lock. The trickier part, I guess, is high gravity play, which, of course, you get super high gravity in classic Tetris, but not instant gravity. So I guess that's the mix-up for sure. Which is kind of why I shouted out TGM earlier. Okay, well, I actually really like policy stack. Pretty high center, allows you to kind of decide where to put your pieces next. Nice use of the T piece. And there we go. Nicely done from Policy. I know Policy plays a lot of Classic too, so they might have a little bit of a knack for knowing how to stack for Classic Bag here. As we see, Grass Pelt having some issues, as Classic Bag can be brutal, even in a modern Tetris setting. But it's not like Policy has a massive lead or anything. If it is classic scoring and you're only behind by, so what, this would be like 3 to 4 Tetrises, like that can certainly be overcome if Grass Pelt can get back into his scoring state sooner than later. Yeah, Tetris Forever. Pretty excited for that, or to see what Digital Eclipse is cooking. I'm tired. I'm going to go attempt to nap. Later, Tetris homies. Thanks for joining, Neb Nub. Hopefully we'll see you next Friday. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. And or nap. And nap. Weekend and nap. No or. Alright, so policy, running a little bit away with it, mixing in a T-spin. There is no bonus for T-spins in these rules that the players requested. Oh, I guess one difference here, too, is like in classic Tetris, you want to use the right wheel. Players can probably use left or right wheel, depending on their preference here. I mean, you can use left wheel in classic Tetris, of course, but there's favoritism to the right wheel, typically, because of how pieces spawn in, and the spin's available to you. But in score attack, it shouldn't matter. It does not matter. Grass belt's still a little high. You know, that score can be overcome, but Policy, being a strong classic player, I feel like is going to keep the board fairly clean. I had trouble with the T-spin there. Or the rotating of the T-piece. And, you know, see if Grasspelt can bring this down. Then, yeah, up next we have Mr. FAQ versus Tetris, and we'll do Jabberbox versus Twiz. It is getting a bit late here. We're going a bit over time. If you two are okay with first to one, that'd be helpful to me. Ryan says I would dominate in this mode. Ooh, nice S-spin from Policy. Yeah, Policy is crushing. As soon as I said that, TiVo is on the same page here. The Policy's great. Yeah, really good classic player, so has a good understanding of this rule set. And I think Policy actually, in recent years, has kind of learned to play more zone battle and score attack, stuff like that, so should be pretty good at this rule set. But Policy finally running into some cheese here after maintaining a pretty clean board throughout. These later levels are worth more, so if Grasspelt can mix in some Tetrises, it is possible. But Grasspelt isn't Tetris ready. We are getting into those high speeds, which will only be exacerbated by the higher gravity, or I'm sorry, the classic bag setup here. And yeah, Grasspelt tops out, and Policy is good for game one. GG's. Policy deciding on the level here. I think they started 13 last time. 14, 15? We shall see. High gravity start for this would be interesting. It is up to you, policy. Don't be peer pressured by me. You have the key to the level. All right, level 10 choice for policy. Level 10's chill. Oh, policy mixing in some speed. Yeah, I guess with the level 10 start, if policy is comfortable stacking quickly, given no hold and limited piece preview, I think leveraging speed in this rule set is a good way to approach it. All right, nice stacking from Grass Pelt. Tetris ready. Boom, Tetris for Grass Pelt. We'll even bring out the booms for our classic rule set here. Boom Tetris for policy. Boom Tetris for policy. Chris Tang going wild here. All right. I think the idea of playing fast in Classic Bad is interesting. That is a nice bonus detail. Hard dropping gives double the points of an equivalent soft drop. Yeah, I did see policy soft dropping there a little bit. I don't think I even knew that. Because I don't think it comes into play too often for modern, right? I guess when you soft drop for like a T-spin. But I mean, you have to soft drop for a T-spin every time, so yeah, that's an interesting factoid. Ooh, that misdrop on the LPs for policy. You're going to give Grass Pelt a little bit of opportunity to get caught up here. Policy just deciding to bring it down. Not going to stack for Tetrises over their mistakes. And yeah, nice S-spin into this Tetris well. Boom, Tetris for policy changes, aka are now known as policy. So Grass Pelt not Tetris ready. Gonna need to find a way to bring this stack down a little bit, get back to that left well. So far so good. Nice use of some doubles in order to get to that well sooner than later. There we go. Grass Pelt is Tetris ready. You can run into droughts here, so you're going to have to know when to take burns. But you should be able to play fairly aggressive. All right, so this game is pretty close, within a Tetris of each other. Grass Pelt managing to get that square over despite the high gravity. And looking to try and get Tetris ready here. Nice use of that, I guess, an elevated setup there to create a skim into a Tetris. We're going to go for a C-spin. I don't think there's much value. I guess a triple's worth more than a double, right? There's something really cursed about classic settings C-spin. Yeah, it's not going to do much for you. It literally gives you 0. Probably because T-spins are set to 0. Even though it is a double. That's kind of weird to think about. You're not even getting the triple or double bonus from a T-spin. So T-spins are actually pretty bad. Yeah, there are no points. Just style points for Grass Pelt there. Got away with. I would say they executed it. I don't know if got away with is the right term. As it only, you know what? As I say that, Grass Pelt did manage to get a squeeze out a lead following that C-spin. So who knows? I mean, with that being said, Policy is running into a lot of issues here. Let's see if Policy can clean it up. All right. Well, while Policy is having issues, Grass Pelt has definitely capitalized. It's going to be pretty difficult for Policy to get caught up here. But if anyone could do it, probably would be Policy, who a little bit of a classic score attack connoisseur. So we'll see if Policy can get the right skims here in order to be Tetris ready. Ideally lower on the board, which looks like we're getting there. Opting to actually just burn down. Just got to keep in mind that the gravity is going to keep increasing momentarily. So I don't want to lose too much efficiency. Grass, no. Grass is really high on their board. And it's not like as easy of an out, just not knowing what your upcoming pieces are going to be, right? So it could take a while to get through this. With that being said, I mean, you have some wiggle room. You're able to kind of rotate the pieces when they land. So you don't have to make instantaneous decisions, but you still have some... you may have a tough sequence that will hinder you getting down sooner than later. Policy was able to bring their board down quite a bit. Isn't really scoring a whole lot though. Grass Pelt. Yeah, no hold. No hold is actually very brutal. I think Grass Pelt is at the end here, unless we see some really clever IRS usage or the right sequence, and is going to top out. Policy can certainly get caught up here. We are in the late levels, though. Policy is going to want to mix in some Tetrises. Oh man, and policy tops out, so grass pelt is good. For game number 2. Killer work pelts, says TiVo. Yeah, crazy survival for sure. Classic bag, no hold. One piece preview makes it a lot harder. All right, 16 start. So this is our final match. We will get Mr. FAQ versus Tetris up next. We are going overtime, so I'm going to move it to first to ones. If that, I don't think anyone will be too upset about that, or hopefully you guys are understanding. And then we'll have Jabberbox versus who was it? And Twiz. Twiz, if you're still lurking, we do have a match for you. And that should conclude the day. You are very upset, not understanding. Got it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Tetris. And these community showcases are getting too popular. I need to lock down on match length, I guess. I don't know. We'll think about it. I guess score attack tends to be a bit longer than some of the other modes at a casual level, especially, right? Because in classic score attack, you're bound to make some misdrops, and it's very unforgiving. In zone battle, you can really you can force your opponent to top out, so score attack at casual levels can go a little longer. Okay. It's grass pelt with a nice start here. Yeah, Twiz, you're welcome just to watch. I think there was another player waiting if you're looking to make your dinner and chill. Either way. I'm getting hungry myself. What is for dinner, Twiz? I may or may not be making some tacos. We'll have to see. Cheeseburgers, very nice. Nice choice. That's an SS tier dinner. All right, so pretty close game here. Nice Tetris for grass pelt. Policy getting a bit high on the board. Running into a few misdrops as well. Sometimes it's hard to tell if players misdropping, depending on how they visualize the game, or maybe setting up for certain spins, right? Either way, like, T-pieces up high like this in classic bag can be kind of brutal, honestly. So let's see if policy can navigate, depending on what the sequence is. Meanwhile, grass pelt has a bit of a mess on their own, so they're not capitalizing 100%, but they are capitalizing. They are getting a bit of a score lead. Yeah, policy on the ropes here. Ooh, finds the T-spin, no points. But but it did help to clean up Policy's board for sure. TiVo is in Cali. I was born in California. And I used to live in Los Angeles and Modesto. Ooh. Grasspelt once again getting pretty high here. That we could see a similar situation to last game at this rate. Because I say Policy. I meant Grasspelt is getting a little bit high here. And Policy is actually Tetris ready. Much needed Tetris for Policy. And once we get into these higher levels, these Tetrises are worth more. So Policy with 3 Tetrises managing to get the lead back. Oh, I didn't catch it, but Grasspelt actually tops out, and Policy is your winner in classic scoring template score attack. Or what would you even call this? Not classic score attack, but score attack with classic settings, I guess. I need a better name for it. GG's. So up next, Mr. FAQ, are you back and ready to play? We are only going to do first to ones for our last games. It is past broadcast time for me, so we'll do some encore matches here. But won't let you guys get left out here, and thank you for being patient. Is Mr. FAQ here? Let me check. If not, I'll give you a match, Tetri, I guess. Mr. FAQ. Oh, I think they're here. Okay. Reset the lobby settings here. All right, hold Q is back. Player options, all right. In the art, it shows a CPU. Am I crazy? How do we have a CPU in here? Here, I'm gonna remake the room just in case. Yeah, I don't know if Mr. FAQ is home yet. Let me see if Jabberbox and Twiz are here. Or you'll be on deck. Okay, let's see. Noriko is typing. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Oh, let me set this first one. Okay, good luck, have fun. Okay, so this might be our most high-level score attack match of the night. Tetri versus Mr. FAQ. I think both are adept in ST stacking. As I say that, I think Mr. FAQ letting us know with some the sweat emoji, there may have been a mistake in their opener. So we'll see if this can stabilize. With that being said, Tetris also having some mistakes on their ST stack. So it should equal out to some degree. I love that players just kind of stack over it. Look, Tetris is still trying to fish for these T-spins. And yeah, this is kind of, you know, if you respect your opponent, you're going to want to try to maintain that efficiency despite the misdrops, right? So oftentimes at high level, you'll see players continue to try to fish for these T-spin doubles despite the errors in their board. And then when it makes the most sense or there's no other options, we'll likely see the down stack commence. But in a perfect world, you'll find the down stack with T-spins in the mix. And scrappy score attack is actually quite fun. Or seeing how players try to get creative here in order to overcome their opponent. So Tetris, despite a pretty rocky start here, is finding a lot of efficiency. Mr. FAQ getting to a cleaner board state. Yeah. Okay, nice. Interesting choices from Mr. FAQ. I saw that in a totally different way. Oh, wait, what? No! I don't know what happened on Tetris, but Tetris was playing too aggressive. You don't think it's... What's wrong with rules? I changed it. I did change it. Bag is wrong. Okay. Is that what's happening? Sorry if I didn't change everything. Let me double check. If you want to exit, we'll check the rules. Okay, I'm sorry if I left the bag on classic. I think I got everything else. Might be. It is on classic. Sorry. Okay, so 7 bags, scoring tech. Okay, I think we should be. Let me just reset defaults to be extra sure. Okay. Sorry about that. Should be good now. Should be good. Alrighty. Good luck, have fun. All right, there we go. We got some clean starts from both players, likely due to the lack of a classic bag. Everything makes sense now. Ooh, that was a nice fix from Tetris to get back into. Oh, I don't know if that T-spin is single. Okay, they're able to get the long bar over though. Okay. So I think Tetris is trying to think of ways to get back into ST, which Mr. FAQ has been maintaining. Mr. FAQ doesn't have a perfect ST though, as we see. There is one extra block in that right whale. However, if Mr. FAQ always prioritizes that right whale, they can maintain that back to back. But that just means there might be situations where you don't want to use three long bars, you would only want to use 2 long bars in order to fill that side. So, for example, if Mr. FAQ fills in column 7 right now with a long bar, it will create a triple and break back to back. Hopefully that word salad made sense there. But with that being said, Mr. FAQ doing a good job maintaining back to back despite that challenge. Tetris close to that Tetris perfect clear. There we go, finding a bit of an ST groove here with a nice looking stack. So we'll see if Tetris can maintain some efficiency. Meanwhile, Mr. FAQ did run into some errors, so this is a good opportunity for Tetris to get caught up in efficiency. Also worth noting, Mr. FAQ is behind on lines, so Tetris has a lot to overcome here. It's going to want to maintain peak efficiency. Is bag just referring to order of pieces? That's a good question. So there are some other sources that will probably explain it better, but I guess to put it simply, within the next pieces, you're bound to receive. Well, especially, okay, when you start off the game, you're going to receive all 7 pieces in a varied order, right? And then after that, it changes up a little bit. Pretty much within the next 12, is it 12 or 13 pieces, you're bound to receive a long bar, for example. Those bags may be jumbled together, so for example, if you don't get a long bar for, say, 11 pieces, you're likely about to have 2 long bars in a row. The best thing to do is probably just look it up here. I'm sure the resources out there will put it a little bit more eloquently if you're interested. But yeah, it's called 7 bag. We're playing on 7 bag, and that is the default modern Tetris setting. So whether you're playing in zone battle or score attack, you're going to be playing in what's called 7 bag, with referring to 7 pieces within that said bag. Classic bag, on the other hand, is near perfect random, or near pure random. There is a few differences, but yeah. Policy pointing out that FAQ is really good at keeping unconventional back-to-back together. Yeah, I think FAQ has kind of maintained that. Look, we have that extra block, maybe hindering some extra points or options for Mr. FAQ, but so far so good. Yeah, the extra block staring at me in column 7 right now. We'll see how each player approaches high gravity. I know Tetris is a very capable player, so I wouldn't put it past them in order to get caught up here, and who knows what kind of mistakes Mr. FAQ will run into, so definitely play it out despite this lead. Tetris going for a 4 wide. No. Turning that into a... Oh, you could turn this into a triple tower. Opts for probably the wise move, opting for that T-spin double. And Yeah, things are looking good. There we go. Opting for a T-spin triple that time, given the pieces incoming. Yeah, not sure if Tetris is going to be able to overcome this gap after the hairy early game there, considering Mr. FAQ is behind on lines as well. But hey, here's how I approach it. If I'm behind in score attack, I'm like, I'll at least go for a maybe a level PP or something like that, right? And yeah, Tetris doesn't have a bad score or anything. I think Mr. FAQ is just on a tear right now, actually. Come to think of it, I'm trying to remember. I think Mr. FAQ has done well in our score attack tournaments in the past. Or am I thinking of classic score attack? Either way, yeah, Mr. FAQ is no slouch and can crush it in this game mode. And generally, he's just a great all-around Tetris player. All right, so Tetris is going to top out, getting level 29. We'll see if, yeah. Tetris not playing bad. I think it's more so Mr. FAQ is just crushing it right now. And, yeah, we'll see what kind of level they can hit here. Yeah, it has some semblance of control here on 29. 30 is close. Not quite. Very close, though. Very nice 2.3 from Mr. FAQ. GG. Thank you, Tetris and Mr. FAQ, for participating and your patience as well. All right, so we've got one more game to end the night. I'm already way over time here. But, hey, I want to get everyone that was told they would have a match playing tonight, so thank you for your patience. Jabberbox, who's been with us since the beginning here, you are finally up. So, all right, final game. And Wiz. And yeah, with that being the last game of the night, be sure to join our Discord if you haven't already. I think everyone that I see talking in the chat is in our Discord at discord.gg/enhance. We host these events every Friday. Typically, we won't be going this late, but yeah, we try to get everyone involved, especially if you are new to the community, and look at to spotlight everybody to some degree and just chill and have some fun. All right, looks like Jabberbox has found their way here, and Twiz is here. All right, take it away. Good luck, have fun. I believe you need Twiz. Twiz saying, time to get embarrassed on stream. I doubt that. Unless maybe Jabberbox will crush you. Who knows? But no, Twiz is a good sport. And, all right. So we've got a clash in colors here. Jabberbox with the customized colors. Twiz opting for the traditional colors here. Okay, I see you, Twiz, with that that funky T-spin triple setup turned into a T-spin double. Opting for the, well, right now it's a 4-4 stack, but you can turn this into a 5-4 with some long bars. See if they decide to do that. And they do. So, okay. I think 5-4 is one of my favorite ways to play the game. I think in high gravity, it's not the best because your well is directly in the center. But before you get there, there is some fun, creative ways to play when it comes to 5-4, meaning that your column is in, or your well is in column 5 or 6. A pure center well. Yeah, high gravity 5-4 is pure pain. Definitely not optimal. Yeah, the nice thing about 5-4 is I'm not sure if I'll be able to put it into words correctly, but depending on how you set up your overhangs or T-spins on your 5-4 stack, usually with a long bar you can kind of fix it or raise your stack in a way. So you might be at times Tetris heavier, but it's pretty easy to correct, and it is a fairly flexible freestyle stack. With that being said, I think it can be a bit trickier to find the more efficient back-to-back if you're like a top player than you would on like something like 7-3. You can, but you just have to set up more donations and see the game a little differently, I guess. And I guess generally players will play faster on 7-3, so from top players in like a zone battle, you're going to see more 7-3 stacking due to the how it favors your finesse, or two-step finesse. Which is two-step finesse refers to trying to get a piece somewhere on the board in minimal key presses, right? Or that's finesse in general. And 7-3 stacking allows for typically is a bit easier to pattern stack and maintain that finesse. But yeah, in zone battle I really like it because being Tetris heavy in zone battle is not the worst thing, right? Because you're charging zone anyways if you're clearing more lines with Tetrises. So yeah, if I'm going to be try-harding, I personally would probably play best with 5-4. Everyone's different in that regard, right? But our best players will use 7-3 or pretty much anything, depending on where the well lands, right? Whenever you're trying to use their garbage against them. But yeah, so I heard the ding. We are approaching higher speeds here. I guess Jabberbox put us into that new music. Twiz with a bit of a lead here has done a really good job maintaining efficiency and a clean stack with that 5-4 stack ongoing. But we'll see how Twiz can play into the later levels. Jabberbox can certainly get caught up. Yeah, it depends on the player and where you're used to, right? Catquick. I think generally players prefer 6-3 or find it more comfortable. Especially when there's like a lot of so players that are getting better like to play sprint or try to play fast, right? And usually top players are going to be going for that 6-3 or advise using 6-3. It tends to be the how do I put it? The more recommended way to play. And I can get behind that as well. But with that being said, in multiplayer, like something like Zone Battle, where you have to dynamically approach the game in terms of like the well is going to be changing because of incoming attacks, etc. At some point, you're going to want to be good at pretty much any form of stacking, right? Or any open column. So it's going to mix it up and try different things in that regard. Alright, Jabberbox with a bit of a combo there. Trying to bring this board down back into a scoring position. But Twiz has been getting a bit of a lead here. He's doing a really good job not misdropping and just keeping it simple. Oh, nice. Jabberbox picked up on that the rotation necessary to get that long bar in there. And gets his Tetris. So Jabberbox is clean. And is going to need every Tetris they can get to get caught up here. And especially while Twiz is no longer in that center well and having some issues, there should be potential for Jabberbox to get caught up. Jabberbox is a bit ahead on lines, meaning they're going to hit these higher levels sooner. So in that regard, Twiz has a larger runway to get caught up. Or, I'm sorry, a larger runway to push the lead, I guess. Or there should be pressure on Jabberbox in that regard. Like, Jabberbox is really going to have to find some efficiency here in these next levels if they want a chance to win this game. Yeah, so we are past level 20 for Jabberbox. I'm going to really start feeling that gravity as it starts to exponentially get faster, especially from 25 to 29. So the runway is getting shorter for Jabberbox. We'll see if they can mix in some Tetrises or T-spins to try to get caught up here. On the flip side, if Jabberbox holds out, we'll see if Twiz runs into any issues, but so far has been keeping it quite clean. And is just showing some strong fundamental play. Nice downstack there for Jabberbox. But the runway is getting quite short at this point. And yeah, I think it can be deceiving, especially as we think it still looks like level 20, but the lock delay is getting a lot quicker for Jabberbox. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that they're beginning to feel that. I like that double long bar placement, but unfortunately, very high on the board here. Going to be quite rough to get caught up here. All right, level 25. See how long Jabberbox can hold out here. Meanwhile, Twiz, very low on the board, feeling comfy. Jabberbox is going to top out at 483k with that A grade. GG. And yeah, Twiz is good. You're welcome to carry it out here. While Twiz is playing, I am going to close it out here as we have already gone way over time. But it is what it is. Just noting for my future streams here. But yeah, GG's everyone that has been playing. Thank you all in chat for making it out per usual. Next week we are going to be hosting Connected Versus. So if you're looking to play some teams, stop by next week. whether you want to be on a boss or a team. I think that's the ultimate chill game mode anyways. So yeah, be sure to join our Discord, discord.gg/enhance. And it was a pleasure having everybody. All right, Twiz. Stream ends when you top out. Right when you top out. So I'll keep talking while you stay alive here. Twiz can control my fate. And yeah, no voice hangout this weekend. We are going to have our bi-weekly full moon hangout next Saturday. For Enemy Humanity players, we will be having a hangout tomorrow, but pretty different breed of puzzle gamer. By the way, if you haven't listened to the Score Attack master version on the Tetris Effect soundtrack, it goes very hard. What's the name? I think it's called Pusher. A very good song. Policy, did he finish Humanity? I feel like we've talked about this before. All right, Twiz, getting into these high levels. Oh, man. Yeah, the pressure is on. No, it doesn't get the spin. Oh, no, stream is over. GG Twiz with the SS 3200 average. Crushed it. So very nicely played, Twiz. And with that, I'm out of here. So thank you, everyone, for participating. Be sure to get that community event rule on the Discord. And have a good night. Enjoy your weekend.